Don't get me wrong, I love being single and I love living alone. It's great, it's fantastic, but fuck, it's expensive. I just spent $600 on brakes on my car, just on the front part of the car, because I couldn't afford all 4 brakes and axles and rotors and whatever the fuck. And then now I just paid my car payment, which is $500, so I just blew $1,100 in like 3 hours, and it wasn't even like fun, you know? Fuck.
You didn't blow money, you paid money towards forwarding your life or progressing your life. It's a normal adult activity. You do these things so you can get ahead in life or further in life. It's not blowing money.
Sorry, it's just so overwhelming. Like, you work and 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 you work, and it's just to pay off like your basic necessities.
I think there are a lot of people out there who think that being a single person is really easy financially because they're like, oh, well, you only have to pay for yourself. And like, wrong. Yeah, I do only have to pay for myself, which means I have to pay for my rent entirely by myself. I don't split it with a partner. My council tax bill, even though there's only one person, is...
Well, I thought you guys said that you wanted to go 100% by yourself rather than find a bum man. So, I mean, you're talking about rent. What she's about to say, it's discounted by something.
It's only discounted by 25%. So my council tax bill, even though there's only one person, is only discounted by 25%. So if you're splitting your bill down the middle with a partner, I'm still paying more than you individually.
Well, you're getting a discount. That's more than some of the people out here are getting. Y'all are finding ways to complain, even with coupons, even with discounts.
My energy bills, yeah, okay, I pay less than you, but I'm not paying half because most of that cost is a standing charge. If I want to go on holiday, I have to pay for the room or the cabin entirely by myself. If I want to get a mortgage, I have to have a bigger deposit, and I can't get approved to borrow as much because I only have one income. Like, financially, is really, really difficult to be a single person, and I think more people need to remember that when they're talking to their single friends.
No, they don't. They've decided to go in a direction that you have not decided to go in. And for people who have common sense, then you could say, yeah, that's tough. But for modern women who say they want to be single, this is the life that you chose. This is what you wanted to do. You're doing what you wanted to do. You're being what you wanted to be, a strong and independent woman. And now, because the strong and independent life is hard, then you want to start complaining. It's the title of the video. Women are complaining that being single in 2025 is too expensive. And I like this last part, unbearable. Life is unbearable for a lot of these modern women. Over and over again, they tell us how they're doing fantastic. They're doing great. Life is superb. Single, childless, 40. I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm the happiest I ever will be. Doesn't sound like it.
Do y'all ever think about how much harder it is to function in society as a single person than
No. Men already know this type of stuff.
as a person part of a couple? Right, like a single person and a couple both only need a 1-bedroom apartment. But when you're splitting it between 2 people, it's way more affordable. The single person is paying twice as much as either of the individuals in the couple. And then the same thing goes for shit like internet.
You guys don't seem to get that there's 2 people in the relationship. So 2 people have their own stuff. Unless you're like super young, you're probably going to have your own stuff. And so you're going to have to work out that situation if you're moving in together. So if that's the case, things are being sold. Things that you think are important are being sold or put into storage. And then you got to pay a storage fee. And if you probably going to try to start off with the smallest unit. But if that unit ain't working, you got to get the bigger unit. And it's over and over again until you get a bigger place. Because I forgot something in the storage unit. So now I want to get a bigger place so I can keep it in the garage or keep it in one of the spare bedrooms. So now I got to pay more for that. Either way, it's not like y'all are getting off easy or excuse me, couples are getting off easy. There's different challenges. This is just a challenge that you as a modern woman have chosen.
At cable, it's not like the couple is getting more or less. It's the same amount. It's just you have someone helping you pay for it. And then you take into consideration the fact that married people get special tax breaks that none of the rest of us get. And then you especially take into consideration the fact that minimum wage used to be able to support an entire family of 4, and now it can't support a single person.
Fair.
I often do videos talking about the fact that I'm 39, single, and happy, but today I wanted to tell you about the worst thing about being single. Gotta keep it real. It's not always easy. So yeah, the worst thing about being single is finances. I have to pay for everything myself. There is no one to share a single bill with. But I'm being serious. Mortgage or rent, bills, food, everything. I get to share costs with nobody.
You wanted so.
But that's really what you guys wanted. Y'all wanted to be alone. Y'all didn't want a man bothering you. That's what you said. So, I mean, I don't get the frustration here. You're living the exact life that you wanted to live.
Why isn't anybody talking about the single tax? It is significantly more expensive to be single, to the point that it's like economically irresponsible to cook when you're single. It costs $75 to make a meal, not to mention the cost of running.
What meal though? What meal? It's economically irresponsible to cook? Are you joking? Bro, what are y'all eating? What are y'all eating out here that makes it economically irresponsible? On that type of money for $75? You can have, that's like a whole meal. That's a whole week's worth. At least 2 or 3 days. You're buying hamburger meat or ground beef, rice, some gravy for a little razzle dazzle. I mean, shoot, if you wanted to, you can get mashed potatoes. I mean, a whole bag of potatoes is like $6 or $7. I mean, you can split that in half as a single. If you take 2 or 3 potatoes and make mashed potatoes, that's it for like 2 or 3 days. You have those mashed potatoes for like 2 or 3 days, at least. And then you've got the chicken. That's easy. That's inexpensive. That's $14. You have that for at least 2 or 3 days. And then you've got, let's say, broccoli, if that's the way you want to go with it, $6. You can throw it in the microwave. What is that? 14 plus 6 plus 6, 20, 26. You haven't even hit 30 yet. So, and that's 2 or 3 days feeding yourself. Not a single meal. That's not irresponsible. That makes a lot of sense. If you double that, you're still not at 75. If you've eaten for, what is it, 6 days, you can even stretch it to 7. That's $75 a week if you want to talk about that. I mean, I'm not, and you could probably, there's people probably out there that can tell you, oh, well, I can eat for a lot less. I can eat for a lot less. So I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that. Well, maybe you know what it is. Maybe she lives in a part of the country that's super expensive. A lot of modern women do that. They'll go to these types of, or these parts of the country to where they want to be quote unquote safe under the guise of being safe, but it's actually not safe at all. They're going to the part of the country and living where it's more luxurious, where the cost of living is higher, where they're price gouging on gas. So, and then you drive a luxury car, and then you live in a luxury apartment. I don't think anybody's trying to bash you for living in a safe place, paying a little bit more for safety, but y'all are not paying only for safety. Y'all are paying for luxury. Even if it's like the smallest apartment, they'll get it because they want to feel luxurious. And then people around them, especially other modern women, will convince them to go out and get this even though they don't need it. They're already convincing themselves, but modern women will convince them, just push them over the edge and confirm to them, yeah, you need to get this. I was thinking about getting it, or I am going to get it today. As a matter of fact, you and I, let's go get it together. They'll do that. And then they'll complain about it. Once again, women complaining after their own decisions about being single in 25. It's too expensive. It's unbearable. I need a man. So now you need a man not because you like him, not because you actually want him, but you need a man because you want him to take the load off of you. You haven't specified, once again, why or how you're going to take care of the man.
Running the dishwasher, washing up all of the pots and pans. And then what am I going to do? Eat lasagna for 6 days when I could use
Bingo. 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 Yes, as a matter of fact, you are.
Uber Eats in one of their various codes each week to get a salad for $9. Imagine paying half your rent because you share your apartment with somebody, half your electricity bills, half your cable, Hulu, Amazon, Netflix, subscriptions. When you're going to the airport on a trip, you don't have to pay $70 for an Uber by yourself because you're splitting it with somebody. Forget saving money on a Costco membership. When am I ever going to use 36 apples? It's honestly the only argument I have for getting in a relationship. It is expensive to stay single.
Well, you know, a lot of these modern women, they'll take the leftovers and give it to a family member or give it to a friend. A lot of people, married or single, they'll split bills with other people. Like say, for instance, you might have Netflix and Hulu. One of your girlfriends might have HBO and let me name another service. That's not YouTube. YouTube. I'm not saying anybody splits what you got going on. Just FYI. But anyway, you get the point. They'll split services. Oh, you can have this or you can have the login code to that. So that kind of cuts down on bills, right? But I think what's really got you guys in this position is your pride and your ego. Maybe if you start tamping down on those and kind of limiting those, you might get a little bit of assistance, I would say.
Just imagine if there were no more single people. The food and beverage industry would just like collapse.
It's so expensive to be single and to pay for all of these expenses by yourself. For context, I do live in the Bay Area, so it is hella expensive to live here, but this is essentially how much.
Okay, so I don't know if you can see it, but up at the top there, you've got rent shared. She shares rent, $1,700. Utilities are $250. That's actually not that bad. That's actually pretty good. Car and car insurance. That's fantastic, bro. $350. Gym membership, $150. What? What kind of gym do you go to? Groceries, $150 weekly times 4. I don't even have that. My grocery bill is not even that high. But you're in the Bay Area, so that makes sense. Okay. Miscellaneous beauty, household supplies, $200. Fun budget. Wait. Oh, she's got that wrong. $200 a week times 4 is $600. That's really $800. She's got. Am I reading that correctly? She's got $200 a week for a fun budget. She's spending more on fun than she is for groceries. Huh. She's spending more on fun in a week than she is on fitness in a month. She's spending more on fun than her car and car insurance. She's spending more on fun than her utilities. Huh. She's paying $1,700 for rent. Okay. 200 times 4, all right, it's 8, right? Okay. Her fun budget is darn near half of her rent. Am I reading that wrong? I'm sorry, man. I'm kind of confused. Well, I'm jumping to conclusions here. Let me see what she's got to say.
I pay in a month by myself, close to $4,000 if I'm lucky. And again, it's not that I can't pay for these things, because obviously I'm out here living and thriving and a little hungry, but it's fine. However, it's usually the things that I don't account for on the monthly that like internally kills me. Like, for example, emergencies. Y'all, it's not only like costly, but the emotional expense to doing it by yourself is like, oh.
Sis, you're spending $200 a week on fun. $200 a week. Even if it's, so if you're saying your grocery and your fun is essentially the same, let's say you actually meant $600 a week, so $150 a week on fun. What are you doing? And I understand you have to get out the house and you have to do XYZ, your mental health, but even if you took $50 a week from yourself, like if you denied yourself $50 of fun a week, that's going towards your emergency fund. Okay, so 50 times 4, what is that? 200? 200 times 5, and 5, most Americans, they say, don't have $1,000 for emergencies or something like that, or small emergencies. In 5 months, if you deny yourself $50 of fun a week, you can have that, and you can be in a position that most Americans are not in. Number one. Number two, if you deny yourself, well, let's say you cut that in half, all right? So 75 times 4, that's 300. Okay, times, you're really there in 3 months, but you're there in 4 months actually, with a little bit of overage. Okay, I mean, I don't understand. Yeah, in 3 months you're at 900. Okay, well, I mean, simple math. You're at 1,200 in 4 months. Okay, so and then you can cut back. Okay, I've got $1,000 saved. All right, and you live in the Bay Area, so it's going to be a little bit more expensive. You might want to have 2,500 for small emergencies, right? You can cut back on the fun a little bit. You can find cheaper options and opportunities. Maybe you can stay in and really binge watch a TV show to kind of limit those expenses. You don't have to do that every week, but God dog, you don't have to be spending $200 a week on a fun budget. Wow, man, I'm sorry, that just gets to me.
Teaching kids about misogyny and incel culture is one thing. You know what I think they need to start teaching in schools? That yes, you can have a partner and whatever, but if you ever choose to be alone, if you ever want to respect yourself and not just settle for bare minimum, if you want to release yourself from a toxic relationship, it will...
Come on, guys, just get to the point. Come on. We know you came on here to hate. We know you came on here to trash, man. Go ahead.
Will be very, very liberating, but very, very expensive. I have lived through the most liberating, amazing, culturing, wonderful experience.
And you're paying for it. And you're paying for it.
The past, goodness me, what, 5 years? God. And that's not 5 years single. I've not been 5 years single, but 5 years not living with a man. And it's been amazing, but it's been so expensive.
Got another complaint about late stage capitalism, specifically about being a single woman, which I do recognize that we can't romanticize the past here all the time, because women couldn't even own their own credit card until the 70s. The fight for independence and autonomy and respect as a single woman in particular. So it's such a fucking uphill battle, and one of those things is the fact that those hidden costs, I guess I could say.
Well, fun fact, you're not the only one fighting this battle. There's a lot of single men out there that have to do the same. So it's not specific to you. You guys are not victims of this.
Is that I have never had a wedding shower. Any sort of shower, every single thing I've had to buy myself, and everything breaks.
I feel like nobody's talking about this, so I am going to.
Disclaimer, somebody's probably talking about it. She's just now coming to the realization that people have been saying this for years.
Why is this that being single is actually so expensive? I have signed up for every hobby you could think of. I have gone on yoga retreats. I have signed up for surfing. I have signed up for pottery, hot yoga, hot Pilates, sitting at coffee shops. I physically have been trying to pour into my cup and fill up my free time, but I didn't know how expensive that this was going to be. And I physically and financially can just not anymore. I don't know what else to do. I can't believe that this is what life has come to.
Well, it hasn't come to that. Women told you know what you are? You're a boss babe. You're in the boss babe culture. What they told you, y'all remember when they say, oh, you don't need a man? You can just get a hobby, read a book, do this, do that. What they tried to do was replace companionship. That's what you thought you were going to do. And now you're finding out, wait a minute, me replacing companionship is a little bit harder than I thought. I have to pay for that. They didn't tell you that part. They didn't tell you, hey, y'all going to brunch every Saturday, that's going to be costly. Y'all going to get drinks after work every day, that's going to cost you a little bit more. Hey, y'all going to, like you said, hot Pilates, hot yoga, surfing, that's going to cost you. Obviously it is, because you're going to have to pay for it. You're going to have to pay for somebody to teach you and instruct you. And while y'all are all taking money from each other, y'all are all getting rich off of each other. And y'all are not really getting rich at all. Y'all are staying the same. Like it seems like you are, but you're not. So everybody's kind of, all you modern women are kind of doing the same thing right now. Let's get into this hobby. Let's go here. Let's go there. And really at the end of the day, it's leaving you broke. What you could have done is just found a man to love and a man to love you. And you could have taken that money, or even half of it, dare I say even a quarter of it, and then spent it on him, and you would have been okay.
I'm learning that the hardest thing about being single is needing two incomes to survive in this economy. Living off one income is impossible. And so with that said, if anybody with two jobs is looking for a partner, let me know.
Well, once again, you can see the same kind of general aesthetic of all these modern women. They're trying to live the high life, the boss babe style. You can go back to the woman that had, I think, $3,800 a month. And I think that was just her expenses, I want to say. Which honestly and truly, if you think about it, is not that bad. Even with the $200 of fun. Honestly, if that's all you have to pay, then that's pretty good. But what you're running into is, I want to go do this, I want to go do that, all these hobbies. So now that $200 of fun per week actually makes sense.
Definitely think there is a singles tax. It's much more expensive to be single than to be in a relationship.
If you're single and living alone, you don't get the economies of scale. So instead of having a partner to split expenses with, you cover everything yourself.
You know what's annoying me about all of them saying this? Is people told you that. People said that already. People said two heads are better than one. People, they sit up there and told you you can't do everything by yourself. But you continue to tell people that you were strong and independent and you didn't need a man. Well, I'll just go rely on my friends. The problem is, all of y'all are trying to be boss babes. And there's only so many spots. Not everybody can be a boss babe. And y'all are trying, it'd be one thing if y'all are trying to be a boss babe in another region, in another job, but all of y'all are trying to be CEOs of the same company. Y'all are going after the same guy. Y'all are wanting to buy the same car, buy the same house, wear the same makeup, buy the same clothes. The designers are only going to make so many clothes. And when they sell out, they sell out. They're not going to be able to make that many clothes if y'all are all wanting the same type of clothing. That's why they make it for different styles, different tastes, different personalities. Y'all be buying the same thing, and instead of letting your personality shine through, instead of going and getting something that you actually like, well, I don't really actually like Dolce & Gabbana or Gucci or Coach. You know, I might buy myself a Coach bag here and there, but that's not really my style. You know, and plus, I really don't want to spend that type of money. I'd rather go get a hoodie that says, you know, some cute wording on it and pay $30 for that. And then, you know, maybe some jeans or a tennis skirt or something like that. And that's my style. But once again, all of y'all have the same style. All of y'all have the same aesthetic, pretty much. I mean, there's a few changes here and there, but people told y'all that this was going to happen. They let you know up front, this is what's going, oh, well, you don't get the economies of scale. We told you that. We told you that. And y'all still said, this is the way that I want to go. Come on, man.
I'm doing all of this by myself. I'm paying the entire rent, the bills. She's like, if I had a boyfriend, it's like giving yourself a double pay rise. It's like doubling your money because you're halving your expenses.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's true. It does cost a hell of a lot of money to be single.
The single tax.
The single tax. Yes, I love it.
And now we're calling it a single tax. It's not a tax. Not at all. Like, you don't get... The price is going to be the price. They set the price as the price. And that's what it is. You cannot afford that. And I'm not even going to call you broke. I'm just going to say that's not something that you can afford. There's a lot of people, surprise, surprise, that are married that still can't afford that item. That's not for them. That's not their market. Even though they would want it, it's not their market. Have some things out there gone up and gone way overboard? Absolutely. But once again, y'all are trying to live above and beyond what you guys have. Your means. Yeah, it's not like y'all are in like range of, oh shoot, I can reasonably pay that off. No. Once again, you're spending $200 a week in fun. What does that even entail? Well, I go get my nails and my hair done this week. I go get, well, no, you can't even say that because she had that as like makeup and other stuff. She already had a budget set aside for that. Going to the movies, surfing, hot yoga. You guys are spending most of your time playing around. Y'all say y'all be working, but y'all be out there playing around just as much. Men are lonely. Men don't have any friends. They don't go out and socialize because they're working. They're working and they're coming home and they're saying, I don't have enough money for that. So I'm not going. Why don't you have I can have a beer, maybe 2, 3 if I'm lucky, but I don't have money for that right now. Not until next pay. And even at that, I've got some bills that I've got to take care of, that I've got to knock down. Y'all don't worry about the bills. Y'all worry about the fun first, and then y'all tackle the bills later.
You're single, it comes with a hidden price tag. The singles tax, and you're paying for it in every aspect of life. Let's do the math. Housing. In this economy, the median rent for a one-bedroom apartment in the United States is $1,876 a month, not including utilities. Sure, you can get a roommate who eats all your food and never cleans up after themselves, but at that point, you may as well just be in a soul-sucking relationship and pay half the rent. So that's not an option. Food! Yes, we purchase less groceries, but Big Grocery does not proportion their goods for those of us living the bachelor lifestyle. If I want fresh Brussels sprouts, I can't just buy a few Brussels sprouts. I have to buy like 30 Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts are not that expensive. Vegetables are not that expensive. Y'all probably be getting the highest of the highest, super pure, alligocious, snack size Brussels sprouts. And if you're asking, is that even a word? No. No, it's not. It's not even a phrase. It started off sounding like a word, but it's not. That's the type of vegetables. That's the type of produce. That's the type of fruits that y'all are getting or looking for. The highest of the high. Well, we got this from Japan over in the mountains. So it's the purest of the purest. We got this water from the Swiss Albanian Princess Dubai Alps. Where is that? It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. But we got it from there. So go ahead and pay $20 for this 2-ounce water bottle. And y'all be sitting up there buying 6 packs of it. What is 20 times 6? 100, 120, something like that. Y'all pay 120. Well, it's worth it because my health has improved. My mood has improved. Placebo effect. Placebo effect. You think because you paid so much for it, then it's going to taste good. It's supposed to. It doesn't. It tastes like regular water. Heck, at that point, you can just buy Fiji. That's expensive enough. You can buy that spring water that what's his name drinks and uses in all of his videos. At that point, you can go to Sam's Club or Costco and buy that for all of the money that y'all are spending. This is not a tax. Modern women always think that something that they have to pay for is, the pink tax. No, it's just a marketing company that said, if we sell them this bill of goods, they're going to buy it. And you're doing just that and you're calling it oppression. Why aren't men speaking up against a pink tax? Because it don't exist. If y'all stop buying that stuff at that price, it wouldn't exist. If y'all start getting those basic razors that men get that don't have all of those comfort and super whatever it is features, and here's the thing, these companies know they can't blow smoke up a man's behind. They know that. That's why they don't even try it. Well, sometimes they do with a lot of these other stuff, a lot of these other things. But the point is, y'all are buying razors that honestly you can probably gotten off of Amazon for cheaper. A 12 pack off of Amazon for the same price that you're getting a 3-pack in the store. Now, and to be fair, nowadays some of these stores are getting smart and they're lowering their prices to compete online. But that's what you guys are doing. It's not a pink tax. It's an irresponsibility tax.
But I don't need 30 Brussels sprouts, so either you end up with wasted food and wasted money, or I have to eat Brussels sprout all week, much to the dismay of my digestive system. Leisure! If the group chat is going on vacation, either you have to buy a whole hotel room, or you've got to split it with the other token single on the trip, because the singles have to be quarantined in one room because being single is contagious. Now add all that together, minusing the 0 tax breaks we get, and it equals too much. Yes, the cost of being single is high, but remember, you can't put a price tag on your peace, so foot the bill until you find someone who adds to your life, not detracts from it. Hope this helps.
She's broken, but you can't fix her. Third wave feminism, single parent household, social media, and woke Hollywood indoctrination have damaged her idea of reality. Modern feminism is teaching women to dislike anything masculine. Anything male becomes toxic. In the old days, women loved being called feminine. It was a compliment, and they appreciated gender differences. Nowadays, they're trying to destroy gender differences, and the ones they can't, they call toxic. Single mom's bitterness towards her baby daddy influences her and her daughter's opinion of all men. In the old days, only the really bad dads weren't invited to be a part of his kid's life. Nowadays, but even the good dads are having restricted access to their kids, so he's not even able to have a positive influence on his daughter's life.
These modern women, well said, by the way. I think that channel is Wing Ma'am. I think you can find her on TikTok and YouTube. I think I've seen a couple of her videos floating around. She's spot on. This is not something that men are doing to women. They're doing it to themselves. Period. End of story. I mean, you can say, well, yeah, a man treated me this way and he did this to me and he made me feel like this. Okay. Even if I give you that, because there are some dudes out there that they're honestly and truly, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And some of these men out here, if we're honest, they're doing too much. They're doing way too much. And you're like, hey, okay, bro, you need to calm down, chill out, right? You know what? Don't do all that. That's probably why you're in that position. But y'all try to take your stuff and blame men for everything that they've done wrong and everything that you've done wrong. You try to put it on the man. Well, I wouldn't have done that had you done this. What? That has nothing to do with me at all. But y'all will do that because y'all don't want to take responsibility and accountability. Y'all be making men's life miserable. You're bringing this type of stuff on yourself.
Me too, and single. I know, right, girl? Can you believe it? And with that, people ask me all the time how being an independent woman has impacted my dating life. And it's just enhanced what I already knew, which is that some men are intimidated by independent women. I can't tell you how many men just assume that I'm using men for money simply because I have a nice place. I've even been dumped for it. But these aren't men, they're boys. And I know one day my man is gonna love the fact that I can hold my own. And if any boy acts up, at least you can tell him to get the fuck out of your apartment.
Your attitude is why you're single. It's not that so many men can't handle you. They can. Your attitude is what's driving men away from you. I mean, and what you have is not really even that great. At some point in time, you need to pipe down. I think that's what men are saying. Yeah, what you have is clean. It's nice. But the space that you have isn't even that big. For what you're probably paying, you're really not getting that much. And a glass of wine and shaking your behind in the middle of your home to music that's not even playing still doesn't change the fact that you're not better than anybody.
Not the only one, and it turns out there's a scientific reason why dating is harder and nobody wants to commit these days. This is a famous study on choice versus desire. It's known as the jam testing experiment. A first group of people were given 24 types of jams to test, and the other one only 6. To everyone's surprise, it turns out that the group that had the most options were 10 times less likely to purchase a product. And furthermore, the group that had less options were much more likely to be satisfied with their choice. Now this makes so much sense when it comes to dating now that we have all of these options. Before the internet, you maybe had only 6 different partners to choose between. Our monkey brains were never designed to have hundreds of potential matches to choose between. So we just freeze, we can't make a decision. People have dating FOMO, they constantly think that there's someone better out there that they're missing out on. All of this to say, you're not the only one, and if you think dating is harder these days, it's because it is.
What you could probably do, honestly, with all of those apps, if you use them smartly, create a profile and expand your range, right? I'm looking for women, and some women might be on Tinder or whatever. I don't think I would ever say get on Tinder, but they say that it's changing. I don't know. But you might get on Hinge. You might get on some of these Christian dating sites. You might get on Bumble, I guess. But essentially what you're trying to do is widen your net. You might get hits, honestly, from the same person from another dating app that you didn't get on Hinge. You might get a hit on Bumble from a person that you've seen on Hinge or one of these other dating sites. But modern women, and I think what he's saying is some men out there too, instead of just using that to say, okay, I'm just casting a wide net and seeing, kind of what I can land, you're looking at it and saying, oh shoot, I've got this person over here that wants me, so I'm going to keep you on hold. No, if you like that person, go ahead and send them a message, because that other person isn't promised to you. And you're thinking, oh, well, I missed an opportunity with this other person. You don't know that because you don't know them. And you beat and waited on them. They done gone for somebody else. So take that person that you're like, oh, she's cute. Oh, she seems pretty interesting. Or he's cute. He seems pretty interesting. Go ahead and go out on a date with them. And if it don't work, you know in your heart, I tried. I did what I was supposed to do. And then if that other person is still around, well, shoot, let's see if we can go on a date and see if we can spark something. That's how to do it, right? But you're not sitting up there waiting for somebody that has no interest in you, or they've expressed no interest in you. You don't even know if they like you yet. Modern women are playing games.
Being single, I'd argue, is more expensive than being in a relationship. Guys always complain, I spend so much money on my girlfriend. I'm like, you don't know what it's like to be at a bar ordering drinks.
I agree that being single is way more expensive than being in a relationship. Because I turn into a grub when I'm in a relationship.
Yeah.
I'm like, you chose this life. And then when I'm single, I'm like, I have to keep up with appearances and look nice.
And that's exactly it. When you're in a relationship, and this is what a lot of men have a problem with. This exactly is it. Oh, I've got to keep up appearances and I've got to look cute for everybody else. But when it comes to that man, you let down extremely. You quit taking care of yourself. You stop paying bills. You don't do any of the stuff that you used to do. And that's the reason that he came in, that he even had any interest in you. It's, oh man, if she's doing that for herself, then maybe she'll do that for me. Modern women keep on talking about, oh, I love myself. I cherish myself. I have a passion for myself. And if I'm healed, then I will love you that way. And then they go out and don't love the man that way. They don't even give that man half of what they promised that man. But they want that man over the next 30 to 40 years to continue giving all that he's got and more.
You're always at parties.
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
always drinking, and you paid for the tickets. Now you got to impress people. Now you're drunk.
Yeah,
And when you're
exactly.
drunk, you don't make sound financial decisions.
No, you don't.
It's a full-time job, and it's extremely time-consuming, and it's not as easy as it may appear to some people.
Is dating today, in your opinion, harder than it's ever been?
I was friends with my boyfriend before we started dating, and I feel like that's a more natural transition than seeing features on your screen and trying to make a decision based on a list of things.
People just try and avoid things because I think they're scared to say things straight up.
One red flag and you're kind of like, oh, I could go find somewhere else. You don't need to have one person when you could have 5.
Honestly, I don't know. I've had really bad luck.
Or you think that you can have 5. That's what I was just talking about a minute ago. You think they're there, but when you go back to run to them, they're not there. Even women trying to get out of relationships and, oh, I have this man across town and he wants me. And if you don't straighten up and fly right, then you know what I'm going to do to you, that type of stuff. And they fool around and they get out there and the man don't even want him. Oh, you're making that up? No. Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm sad to say, unfortunately, that's the case. Think a woman right now, I'm thinking about a woman left her husband. He was a good man. She said as much. I think actually he was working at one point in time. She was upset about something, or she just wanted more out of life. That's what it was. He was working, he was killing it, paying the bills and stuff like that. She was like, man, I'm tired of being a stay-at-home mom. I want to go back to work. I want to do that. All right. So he's working as a chef. She's working as a lawyer. She gets in there. She starts going to happy hours, all that stuff. And I think he said she actually made a friend that became a terrible influence in her life. So she's hanging out with this friend. They're going to different places. And instead of her coming home and, kind of doing the same thing that they were supposed to be doing as a family, she starts kind of staying outside the house a little longer, right? Really getting into that boss babe, corporate baddie lifestyle. Meanwhile, she was like, okay, I'm making a lot of money. How about you stay home with the kids? He was like, man, I don't want to stay home with the kids. I want to work. I like being a chef. So he stays home. I think he started staying home after a while and taking care of the kids. She then, I guess, at the place, the law firm, finds this quote unquote man, alpha male is what she actually called him, and starts hanging out with him. Starts letting this man clap her cheeks, comes home to her husband, starts trashing him, talking about he's not a good man. He's not as good as that other man. He pays for me this and that, and he's taking me on trips. Oh, he's taking you on trips, huh? I thought you said you were going on a work trip. Surprise, surprise, sitting out here lying. Oh, well, that doesn't matter because I'm leaving you for him. And he's an alpha male and I don't need you. He's more of a man than you and he takes care of everything. Well, I was taking care of everything until you told me that you wanted me to stay home because you were going to take care of everything. You change your mind and your emotions change like the wind. Remember that statement, because the further that story got along and went along, she found out that, surprise, surprise, we could have all guessed it, that man didn't care nothing about her. Fooled around and left that woman. After she didn't divorce the man, the divorce finalized. Oh, I really don't actually like you like that. I don't see us as being compatible. And the woman then already left the man. Then she got to come crawling back, literally talking about, oh man, I don't know what I was thinking. I lost myself. Okay, well, then you lost me too. Leave them kids alone. Don't put your hands on my baby's head. Go ahead and get out my house. Get out my face. Oh, can you ever reconsider? No, you're an idiot. Shut up talking to me. I'm sorry to say it. I'm sorry to be disrespectful. But you came in this house talking about I make the money here. I pay the bills here. And that man is more of a man and more of an alpha than you'll ever be. I'm leaving you. And then not only did you say that, you went through with the divorce, lived with him. And then once you found out that man wasn't stunting you like that, you want to try to come back to me. Man, get out of my face. I don't have no time for that bull crap.
So everything. Like, I've been treated like shit.
I think a big part of it is because of social media.
People see a lot, they exposed to a lot. They're always looking for better.
Everyone is always looking for the best thing and they always think something else is around the corner and you almost have too much access to too many people.
There is an anti-dating culture at the moment.
Okay.
I think that men and women are being encouraged to be treated as adversaries, not as equals.
I think it's transactional today. I think it's easy today. Whatever's too easy to come, you devalue it. My era, you had to court. You had to have scripts. You had to build relationships. You had to follow up. We had MySpace. The last time I was single, there was MySpace. I DM'd my wife on MySpace. Eventually, we're in Palm Springs for the first time. She's single. I'm single. We go on a date. There's magic. She goes home. The next day, I take her. We go do stairs in Santa Monica. We go to church. We go to Earth Cafe in Santa Monica. Then we go to Borders. I buy her a book on our second date called 101 Questions to Ask Before You Get Engaged. On our second date, she's like, what's this? I said, I'm not looking for a girlfriend. I'm looking for a wife. I'm 28 at the time. I said, I know exactly what I want. I've already done this exercise with 3 other girls. If you want to go through it, great. You need to answer the questions. Let's meet up when you're ready and let's go through it. Week later, 6 hours at her place, one by one, each question we go through. I said, this is somebody I can date. And by the way, it's ugly because you got to talk about everything in the book. That's not it anymore.
I was about to say that's brutal. That's brutal. 101 questions. And it's not you oh, well, you know, I kind of believe this and I kind of believe that. That's brutal, man, because y'all sit up there and it takes time. It takes time to talk about that stuff. Your brain is tired. You don't want to listen to each other no more. I would rather go get something to eat. I want to play a game. I want to do anything else but talk about this. But that's what a relationship is. That's how you build a connection. It's actual freaking work. This is what this is what I keep on trying to say. That's the perfect example. Okay, I'm not playing around. Here's what I got. And you move intentionally, and you're moving with the confidence that's going to shock a lot of modern women. It's going to scare a lot of modern women. They're going to say, oh, he's love bombing me. Or he's one of those that tries to move fast and tries to do this and that. And even some of her family members probably looked at him and said, oh man, he's not the one for you. He's going to play games and yada, 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 and this and that. I've done this exercise, like he said. So he's this is what I be talking about. He's calibrating every single time. Okay, I've gone through, I see the women that I like. I'm going to get a short list together and see where I want to go from there. So I do that. Okay, are you doing this? Oh, well, I ain't really. Okay, great. We'll be friends. And then you do that same thing with the other two, and they're going to pretty much, maybe they don't work out, or maybe you guys have a really bad blow up or a really adverse reaction to each other. That's what's going to happen. Cool. You're not my person. I get to my wife, fourth or fifth person, and I say, hey, great. I'm having a great time. So I know we can get along. All right. Now let's get down to the stuff that actually matters. Now, I want to make a disclaimer. You don't got to do it like this. If you want to go a little bit longer and you want to say, no, I want to take my time. I want to let it cook a little bit. You can absolutely do this. You can date intentionally and you can date slowly. I mean, you don't want to take forever because you don't want to waste each other's time. And importantly, you don't want to waste your money. But you can, if you want to take it a little bit slower, you can do that. And you take a little bit of time to watch and observe. Absolutely, you can do that. Him, he just at 28 said, you know what? I know exactly what I'm looking for. I want you to read this book. Hey, let's go through these questions and see where we're at. If we're not there at the same place, then there's no need for me to continue spending money. I've already spent money, so you know that I'm willing to do it. But I want to see exactly where you're at. And she rose to the occasion. He rose to the occasion. Bada bing, bada boom. It seems simple, but I'm telling you, you have to be hyper focused. You have to be laser focused on what you're looking for. Number one. Number two, you have to, like I said, go to those questions and everything is it. And some of those things, a lot of those things, you're not going to be comfortable sharing. But once again, unfortunately for you and your pride and your ego in a relationship, you're going to have to let that go, man. You have to let that go. Now, you don't go crazy and just dump and just be like, well, you know, at 5, I broke my leg and I've hated my dad ever since. You don't do that. You know, there's some things you gotta, over time, you slowly ease it out there. And I'm not talking about like the big stuff. I'm talking about like childhood stuff or stuff that's maybe not so important. But once again, you've got to be categorizing and thinking, is this important to know? Would I want to know this? Okay, let me go ahead and try to figure out how to have a conversation about it, right? Even if you don't say, what do you bring to the table? Specifically or verbatim, you ask her in so many words, what is your value proposition to a relationship, to me, to our children, to our future, to our community, to your family, to my family, to our village? What is it? And if she has some silly answer like, I don't have anything but myself and divine energy, pass.